Just a very short video showing the packaged up version of the line supervision indicator. What this does is, what I've done here actually is taken a plate that has two standard telephone jacks on it that I got from Menards for about $3. And I got a little blue plastic box for about 95 cents. And drilled a hole in the center of the plate, mounted the LED and the electronics on the inside of the box, which was just a tiny little circuit board with the Zener diodes and the resistors on it. 2 resistors, 2 Zener diodes. And it makes connection very simple. I've got the 2 jacks. One is connected to the phone line through a standard telephone jack that's underneath here, next to my Ethernet connection. And the other one goes to the phone. If the go off hook and the red light comes on instead of the green, you simply change the 2 cords around in the jacks to get the correct polarity. Again, the purpose of this thing is to indicate when the person you're calling or the number you're calling is actually charging for the call. What happens is a lot of unscrupulous VoIP providers will charge you even when the phone is ringing and nobody has picked up yet, or they'll charge you for intercept announcements or other situations where the call should not be charged, an uncompleted call basically. And this allows you to detect that state. So when you go off hook with this old dial phone I've got here using for an example, I have this converted to touchtone operation with another circuit I built. But anyway, you should get a green indication here indicating you're not being charged for the call. I will call my home line number over here using the dial phone to give an example of how it works. So we'll do that. Yep, I have to start over. I'm not going to take this off camera because I have my home number on here. And we'll let the home line ring. And as long as I have not answered the phone that I'm calling, this light will remain green. Now we'll see what happens here. All right, it's ringing now on this line. So this light is attached to the outgoing, the phone making the outgoing call. So as soon as I pick it up, the light goes red. The reason this works is that this phone is connected to a VoIP line or a VoIP ATA adapter. And I have the option set in that to automatically reverse the polarity on the line whenever answer supervision is received from the number that you're calling. And that's a little option that can be set up on many ATAs, not all, but many. And in fact, many POTS lines, plain old telephone service, old-fashioned landlines supplied by the telephone company, will have that option to reverse the polarity on answer also enabled. It may not be enabled by default. You might have to request it, but it is possible that in some areas and locations this will work on a POTS line. But normally you'd have to have an ATA configured to reverse the polarity. Now when I hang up the phone, this light will go back green again, indicating that the charging for the call has stopped, even though I'm still off hook here. And then of course when I hang up, the light is extinguished. Another kind of cool feature of that is that if I call the phone, let's see what the number is here. Hang that up. Yeah, wrong one. There we go. You can see the AC of the ringing voltage. We also provide a visual ring indicator flashing it alternately green and red as the polarity of the AC signal reverses. So I think that's kind of a neat feature and it looks cool. It doesn't interfere with the ringing at all of the phone. And then when I pick up the phone, it just goes green. On an incoming call for this particular ATA, the light always remains green. It never shifts over to red. on another OB ATI I have on an incoming call, as soon as you answer, because the other party's off hook, it interprets that as needing to turn it red. So the operation may vary a little bit, but on outgoing calls, it should always remain green until charging begins. So it's kind of useful to see if you're getting ripped off. If you've got an asterisk PBX and you're calling other people with a similar setup, this indicates where they're actually answering the call in their dial plan. So it's kind of a useful thing to be able to see where supervision is actually getting returned. It's a kind of a handy diagnostic tool. So keeping it in line doesn't materially affect the quality of the call. It steals a little bit of current and creates a bit of a voltage drop on the line. But with a normal 500 set like this, that should not cause any problems because of the wide tolerance of voltage level that these phones will operate off of. Could potentially cause some problems with electronic phones, but I haven't run across any analog phones that this thing really interferes with. And in this particular phone, I've got another circuit that is similar in some respects to this one installed to do the pulse to touchtone conversion. And it has a similar Zener diode that's also dropping 5 volts inside of the phone, as well as this one. So I'm getting quite a large voltage drop, and yet there's virtually no change in the operation or the audio quality of the phone call. So anyway, that's my quick and dirty and very, very cheap packaging for the line supervision indicator that indicates when you're being charged for a call.